Hey everybody, this is MyCollectables coming back with another video, and we have the Silver Surfer number 44 coming to Veve, and this is actually quite interesting because this is the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, if you've been in Veve a while, you know that they've been dropping the stones for the last 6 months to almost a year. Every now and again we get one. We haven't had one in a bit, but we have all of them except for just the Soul Stone. And this comic arrival right now is quite interesting because it's stirring up speculation again about whether or not we will be getting that final stone, maybe a collectible gauntlet in Veve that might be empowered, or who knows what we're going to get. But this comic book is dropping at a very interesting time. So please let me know what you think in the comment section. And if you do like the video, make sure you hit like. Let's continue to talk about this over on Twitter. Make sure you're following me there. I'll follow you back and we can see what's happening, and we can check, I want to know your opinion about this. Does this comic, kind of show that we're getting closer to this Infinity Gauntlet drop that everyone's speculating on for this entire time? It's kind of odd that they would drop this now. Now, I'm going to review this comic right here as well. I'll tell you how much it's worth. And whether or not it's something that that I'm going to go for in the store. I always go for comics usually just for the sake of getting a secret rare or something, and this one might be interesting. I have this feeling we may need this one. Who knows? But let's check it out right here. Let's get right into it. Here is the article that Veve has right here. Silver Surfer number 44. This is not from 1987, but that's the date that the Silver Surfer issue started. So this one's actually not from 1987. This was actually from a little bit later, but it's actually an okay comic. It's quite notable. There's a decent amount of them printed. I'll show you how much it's worth on Go Collect in just a second. This one here, you can see the common cover looks really cool. You can see the uncommon looks very similar, actually. And then, of course, the rare and the ultra rare look almost identical. It's quite interesting. The only real difference is up here in the top with the color in the background, but everything else looks almost identical. So it's a very similar comic right here. And then, of course, the secret rare is a nice one right there. It looks quite cool. You can see the gauntlet in his hand right here. This one actually is from 1990. That's the date that it actually came out. It's a 10,000 edition run, so it's a super limited. So I'm not predicting that this one's going to do amazingly well in the aftermarket or whatever. It has a $6.99 drop price, which is quite nice. I like that $6.99 price. I don't really like the $10 ones or the $20 ones as much, depending on the comic. But the $6.99 is fantastic. So I think this one will sell out. I mean, eventually. I think this one is actually a good enough comic and a notable enough comic in the real world, and a popular enough comic, and enough speculation possibly with this whole with this whole Infinity Gauntlet thing. But here's the comic right here. I think the common and the uncommon, and probably the rare, will go close to retail. Everything, the ultra rare and the secret rare will probably go over retail. I mean, obviously the secret rare will. The ultra rare obviously will as well. And then I think the rare, will be somewhere close by $6.99, maybe around $8, $9, maybe $10. And then after that, you're looking at these two probably both under retail. So, that's what I think. You guys let me know what you think about that. If you go over to Go Collect, you can look at this comic. I have the full access account, so I can show you everything. 9.8. 368 are graded at a 350 US market value. So it doesn't have a lot of incredible value in the real world, but it's still not too bad. It's not too bad at all, right? And actually, if you go over to eBay, a 9.8 right here is actually, there's 11 watchers on it. It's actually higher than its fair market value. It's actually going for about 800 to 700 US, which is quite interesting actually at a 9.8. So, you can get one at a 6 point right there, or you can get a really good one here at a 540 as well. So you can see that this price is somewhere in that range. You can pick up a decent one for sure. If you actually look at solds right here, if you go down right here and check that out, you can actually see the last one we got right here. So we got a 9.8 sold for just on March 21st, actually sold for just under 400. So it actually does match up quite nicely with the fair market value over on Go Collect. So that's just a little bit of reference for you for sure. Now, the only thing that's throwing this in a little bit of a mix for me, that's making this seem a little bit more interesting, is the Soul Stone. And of course, from the movies that you have to get the Soul Stone by, sacrificing something. At least that's the way it was in the movies where Thanos went. And he had to sacrifice, Gamora in the original. Spoiler. And then, of course, we all know what happened with the Black Widow and Hawkeye, to get it back in, Endgame. So this is kind of really fueling some more speculation over on, on Twitter and stuff like that. People are actually talking about this one. Is this actually, Like, why are we getting this now? It's quite interesting. We got all that stuff, and then we get the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet. It's quite something. So I'm not going to ape into like VV and start buying a whole bunch of like Infinity Gauntlet stuff yet. I'll just wait for official announcements to come out. But if you're that kind of person who is like interested in kind of like, doing this kind of thing with the Tesseract and other ones where people buy, the prices on them have come all the way back down from the last time there was speculation. So you never know what could happen. It could be a good play. It could not be. I don't know. I'm going to wait a little bit. I might pick up a Tesseract or something like that just in case in the market, just to be sure. But when this kind of thing happens and we have all that past speculation and all of that stuff about gathering all the stones to get the Infinity Gauntlet, then you drop the Infinity Gauntlet first appearance, it starts to make me think. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next video, and happy collecting.